Hey everyone, I wanted to take a few minutes to explain how our weekly journals are going to work. So starting here in week two, the week two module, you see a weekly journal tab. Every week there will be a journal prompt for you to respond to. Once you go into that assignment, you'll see the prompt, and then what I want you to do is set a timer for yourself and type for 10 minutes straight, even if you go off topic from that prompt. Just keep typing. Don't worry about grammar or mechanics or spelling or any kind of language and mechanics issues. I'm not worried about any of that. This is free writing. I don't want you to be thinking about the proofreading, right? Just type for 10 minutes. If you do that, you'll get the 10 points for that journal. If it's clear you didn't, if you give me, 5 sentences, then some points are going to be deducted. The only way you'll receive a 0 is if you just don't do it at all. But most students get the 10 points, and the prompts are designed so that you have something substantial to say about it. All right. So that's the basics of the journal, how they work. Set a timer for yourself for 10 minutes. Type straight through, even if you go off topic. Don't worry about any kind of proofreading things, right? Now, there's another layer to these journals for this course. Now, here in week two, the journal prompt is just a standalone prompt. It's not related to anything else we've looked at or talked about in class yet. It's just about your current views on argument. You'll read the prompt when you get to it. However, starting in week 3, the journals take a different turn. When you click on the weekly journal tab in the week 3 module and all through the rest of the modules, the first sub-tab you'll see will be a video where I discuss the previous week's discussion prompt. So the discussion prompts, remember, you're going to be looking at different ads, different posters or images, or maybe even like a text, something that like a speech that I've typed up in there. And then you're going to answer some questions about it for the discussion prompt. And then you'll respond to 2 classmates, and then the discussion closes Sunday night. Monday, the next weekly module begins. That journal will also be a follow-up to the previous week's discussion. So when you go to the weekly journal tab, the first thing you'll want to do is watch my video where I follow up on the previous week's discussion. And then you'll complete the daily journal or the weekly journal, which are then is additional follow-up on the previous week's discussion. So watch the video and then complete the journal if possible in that order. You definitely want to do all of these things though. You want to do your best to participate in each weekly discussion. You want to do your best to watch my video and then do the weekly journal, because at the end of the quarter, your final exam essay, you will be choosing from some of the weekly discussion images or texts. You'll have some to choose from. And you'll choose one of those to write a rhetorical analysis of in the final exam essay. So I want the discussions and my follow-up video and the weekly journals to all work together to provide you with material that's already there for you to help you complete the final exam essay. Okay? So do your best to do all 3. The weekly discussion, and then the next week, go to the weekly journal tab in that module, watch my video where I follow up on the previous week's discussion, and then complete the weekly journal for that week, which is where you will follow up on the previous week's discussion. So then by the end of the quarter, when it's time to do the final exam essay, you'll have everything that was talked about in the discussion, everything that I discussed in my video, and everything that you put down in the journal, your thoughts on that discussion prompt, and you'll have a lot to work with to help you write that final exam essay. Okay, so remember, 10 minutes nonstop if possible, even if you go off topic. And remember that the weekly journals are working in conjunction with my follow-up video to the previous week's discussion, right? If you have any questions about the weekly journals, please let me know. Otherwise, I am so excited to see how this all works together and what everyone has to say about each prompt for the weekly discussions. I think it's going to be some really interesting stuff, and I'm super excited about it, and I hope you guys have as much fun with it as I am anticipating. But again, if you have any questions, let me know.